Deep within the vaults of Yale University's Voynich Rare Book and Manuscript Library lies a peculiar artifact that has baffled scholars for centuries. The Voynich Manuscript, a book filled with undecipherable symbols, strange illustrations of plants that don't seem to exist, and mysterious diagrams of celestial bodies, has resisted every attempt at translation. Written in an unknown script, it's as if the author deliberately crafted a puzzle meant to confound anyone who dared to open its pages. But what if this manuscript isn't just an isolated mystery? What if it's part of a much larger story, one that connects ancient civilizations, secret societies, and even modern cryptographers in a quest to uncover a universal language hidden within forgotten codes and enigmatic symbols? Throughout history, humans have used symbols to communicate ideas, secrets, and knowledge. From the cryptic carvings on ancient Egyptian temples to the intricate patterns woven into medieval tapestries, these symbols seem to whisper of a deeper understanding, one that transcends time and geography. Could these mysterious markings be more than just random designs? Could they hold the key to a shared language, a way for humanity to connect across cultures and eras? In this video, we'll journey through the ages, exploring the fascinating world of forgotten codes and enigmatic symbols. We'll uncover the stories of those who have tried and failed to crack these ancient mysteries, and we'll examine the tantalizing possibility that these symbols might reveal a universal language, one that could rewrite our understanding of human history and communication. From the cryptic symbols of the Knights Templar to the modern-day codebreakers using artificial intelligence to decode the past, this is a story of intrigue, discovery, and the enduring human quest to unlock the secrets of our ancestors. So, are you ready to uncover the hidden truths behind these enigmatic codes? Let's dive in. Long before the advent of written language, our ancestors were already communicating in ways that would lay the groundwork for human expression as we know it. Deep within the caves of Lascaux, in what is now modern-day France, intricate paintings of animals, handprints, and abstract shapes cover the walls, some dating back as far as 17,000 years. These images weren't mere decorations, they were a form of storytelling, a way to share knowledge, beliefs, and perhaps even warnings. The same can be said for the petroglyphs carved into rocks across the globe, from the deserts of the American Southwest to the cliffs of Australia. These early symbols were humanity's first attempts to record their experiences, to make sense of the world around them, and to pass that understanding on to future generations. But these symbols didn't just stay simple or static. Over time, they evolved, becoming more sophisticated and layered with meaning. Take, for example, the Sumerian cuneiform script, one of the earliest known writing systems. What began as basic pictograms, simple drawings of objects like wheat or sheep, gradually transformed into a complex system of wedge-shaped marks that could represent not just objects but also sounds, ideas, and even abstract concepts like emotions or time. This leap from pictograms to a more advanced script marked a turning point in human history, enabling societies to record laws, trade agreements, and religious texts. It was as if humanity had unlocked a new way to preserve and share knowledge, bridging the gap between the tangible and the intangible. What's fascinating is that these early symbols weren't just practical tools for communication, they also seemed to hint at something deeper. The recurring patterns and motifs found across different cultures, spirals, circles, animals, and celestial bodies suggest a shared understanding, a kind of proto-language that transcended geographical and cultural boundaries. This raises an intriguing possibility. Were these ancient symbols more than just local expressions? Could they have been the first steps toward a universal language, a way for humanity to connect on a fundamental level long before words divided us? As we move forward in this exploration, we'll uncover how these early symbols may have held meanings far beyond their surface appearance. Were they simply representations of the physical world, or did they encode deeper truths, hidden knowledge, or even spiritual insights? The answers might lie in the next chapter of our journey, where we'll delve into the enigmatic symbols of ancient civilizations and the secrets they may have been trying to convey. Among the countless artifacts that have shaped our understanding of ancient civilizations, few hold the same transformative power as the Rosetta Stone. Discovered in 1799 during Napoleon's campaign in Egypt, this unassuming slab of black granite became the key to unlocking a language that had baffled scholars for over 1,000 years. What made the Rosetta Stone so extraordinary was its inscription, written in 3 scripts: ancient Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphs. For the first time, researchers had a parallel text, a way to compare a known language with an unknown one. It was as if a door had been flung open, revealing a world of knowledge that had been sealed away for centuries. But cracking the code wasn't easy. Early attempts to decipher the hieroglyphs were riddled with confusion and dead ends. Scholars initially believed that each symbol represented an idea or object, much like the pictograms of earlier writing systems. It wasn't until Jean-François Champollion, a brilliant French linguist, realized that hieroglyphs could also represent sounds similar to the way letters function in alphabets that the true breakthrough came. His work not only unlocked the secrets of ancient Egypt, but also reshaped our understanding of how symbolic systems evolve. The Rosetta Stone became a testament to human ingenuity, proving that even the most enigmatic codes could be unraveled with patience, insight, and a bit of luck. The implications of this discovery were profound. Suddenly, the stories carved into temple walls and inscribed on papyrus scrolls came alive, offering a glimpse into the beliefs, rituals, and daily lives of a civilization that had once seemed impenetrable. Hieroglyphs weren't just decorative symbols, they were a complex language capable of conveying everything from royal decrees to personal prayers. This revelation didn't just illuminate ancient Egypt, it also raised a tantalizing question. If the Rosetta Stone could unlock one forgotten language, could there be other keys waiting to be discovered? Could the undeciphered scripts of the Indus Valley, the Etruscans, or even the Voynich Manuscript hold similar potential? The Rosetta Stone's legacy extends far beyond Egyptology. It serves as a reminder that symbols, no matter how cryptic, are often gateways to deeper understanding. They connect us to the minds of those who came before, bridging the gap between past and present. And yet, for every code that has been cracked, countless others remain shrouded in mystery. What stories might they tell? What knowledge might they preserve? As we turn our attention to the world's undeciphered scripts, we'll explore the challenges that keep them hidden and the tantalizing clues that suggest their secrets are not lost forever, just waiting for the right key. As we venture deeper into the realm of forgotten codes, we encounter a striking truth. Not all mysteries are meant to be solved. Across the globe, there are scripts that have resisted every attempt at decipherment, their meanings locked away as if guarded by time itself. Take, for instance, the enigmatic symbols of the Indus Valley civilization. Flourishing over 4,000 years ago in what is now Pakistan and northwest India, this ancient society left behind thousands of inscriptions on seals, pottery, and tablets. Yet, despite over a century of study, their script remains undeciphered. The symbols are tantalizingly brief, usually no more than 5 characters, and without a bilingual text like the Rosetta Stone, researchers have struggled to find a foothold. Some believe the script represents an early form of writing, while others argue it might be a system of non-linguistic symbols. Could it be a language lost to time, or perhaps something else entirely? The answer continues to elude us. Then there's Linear A, a script used by the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete around 1800 BC. Unlike its successor, Linear B, which was deciphered in the 1950s and revealed to be an early form of Greek, Linear A remains a mystery. Its symbols, etched into clay tablets, seem to record administrative details like trade and inventories, but their exact meaning is still unclear. Without a clear connection to a known language, decoding linear has proven to be a monumental challenge. Some researchers speculate that it might encode a lost language, one that could shed light on the Minoan's culture, religion, and daily life. But until a key is found, these symbols remain silent, their stories untold. Far across the Pacific, on the remote Easter Island, the Rongorongo tablets present yet another puzzle. These wooden tablets, covered in intricate glyphs, are the only known written records of the Rapa Nui people. Discovered in the late 19th century, they depict a mix of human-like figures, animals, and geometric shapes. But here's the catch: by the time the tablets were found, the knowledge of how to read them had vanished. Without a living tradition to guide interpretation, the glyphs have remained indecipherable. Some theories suggest they might be a form of proto-writing, used for recording genealogies or religious chants. Others propose they could be mnemonic devices, aiding oral storytelling rather than serving as a true script. Whatever their purpose, the Rongorongo tablets stand as a haunting reminder of how easily knowledge can be lost. What makes these scripts so difficult to decode? One major hurdle is the lack of context. Without a parallel text or a clear understanding of the culture that produced them, researchers are essentially working in the dark. Modern technology, like artificial intelligence and pattern recognition algorithms, has offered new tools for analysis, but even these advanced methods have their limits. Symbols can be ambiguous, and without knowing the underlying language or cultural framework, interpretations often remain speculative. Some experts even suggest that these scripts might have been intentionally designed to obscure their meaning, serving as a form of encryption to protect sacred or secret knowledge. And yet, the very fact that these scripts remain undeciphered adds to their allure. They are reminders of the vastness of human history, of the countless stories and ideas that have been lost to time. Could they hold clues to a universal language, a way of thinking that transcends individual cultures? Or are they simply the echoes of societies that chose to keep their secrets hidden? As we continue our exploration, we'll turn to the shadowy world of secret societies and their use of symbols, where the line between communication and concealment becomes even more intriguing. Throughout history, secret societies have woven a tapestry of mystery and intrigue, using symbols and codes as tools to safeguard their knowledge and communicate in ways that the uninitiated could never comprehend. Among the most famous of these groups are the Freemasons and the Knights Templar, whose enigmatic symbols continue to captivate and puzzle us to this day. These societies didn't just use symbols for decoration. They embedded them with layers of meaning, creating a visual language that could convey complex ideas, rituals, and even warnings to those who knew how to read them. But what were they hiding, and why did they go to such lengths to encode their secrets? The Freemasons, for instance, are renowned for their intricate use of symbols. From the square and compass to the all-seeing eye, each emblem carries a specific significance, often tied to moral teachings, philosophical concepts, or the organization's history. The square and compass, for example, symbolize virtue and self-discipline, reminding members to square their actions and keep their desires within bounds. Meanwhile, the all-seeing eye, often associated with divine providence, serves as a reminder that one's actions are always observed, whether by a higher power or by the society itself. These symbols weren't just decorative. They were a way to pass down wisdom and values across generations, ensuring that the group's core principles endured even as the world around them changed. The Knights Templar, on the other hand, left behind a legacy of symbols that are both cryptic and deeply tied to their spiritual and military mission. The Templar cross, with its distinctive red color and equal-armed design, is one of the most recognizable. While its exact meaning remains debated, many believe it represents the knight's dual role as warriors and monks, blending martial strength with spiritual devotion. Other Templar symbols, like the two knights riding a single horse, hint at the order's ideals of humility and shared purpose. But beyond these visible emblems, the Templars were also rumored to use hidden codes, encrypted messages that allowed them to communicate securely across great distances, protecting their plans and discoveries from prying eyes. What's fascinating is the possibility that these societies weren't just guarding their own secrets, they might have been preserving something far older and more universal. Some theories suggest that the Freemasons and Templars inherited ancient wisdom, perhaps from the builders of the pyramids or even earlier civilizations. Could their symbols and codes be fragments of a universal language, a way to encode knowledge that transcends time and culture? This idea is tantalizing, but it also raises questions. Were these groups truly the keepers of ancient wisdom, or were they simply skilled at creating an aura of mystery to enhance their influence? As we peel back the layers of these secretive organizations, we're left with more questions than answers. Did their symbols serve as a bridge to a deeper understanding of the universe, or were they merely tools for maintaining power and cohesion within their ranks? The line between communication and concealment is often blurry, especially when it comes to groups that thrived on secrecy. And as we turn our attention to the world of alchemy, we'll see how symbols took on an even more mystical role, transforming from mere codes into gateways to hidden realms of knowledge. What secrets might the alchemists have encoded in their cryptic diagrams and arcane texts? The answer lies just ahead, in the shadowy corridors of medieval Europe, where science and mysticism often intertwined. Alchemy emerged as a unique blend of both. At its core, alchemy wasn't just about turning base metals into gold. It was a quest for transformation, both physical and spiritual. Alchemists saw the world as a vast, interconnected system, governed by universal principles that could be understood and harnessed through the language of symbols. These symbols weren't arbitrary. They were carefully crafted to represent the hidden truths of nature, the cosmos, and the human soul. But what exactly were they trying to convey? And could their cryptic language hold clues to a universal code that transcends time and culture? One of the most iconic alchemical symbols is the Ouroboros, a serpent devouring its own tail. At first glance, it might seem like a simple image, but its meaning runs deep. The Ouroboros represents the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth, a concept that resonates across cultures and philosophies. For alchemists, it symbolized the never-ending process of transformation, the idea that destruction and creation are two sides of the same coin. It was a reminder that to achieve something new, one must first let go of the old. This idea wasn't just poetic, it was central to the alchemical process, where materials were broken down and reformed in the pursuit of perfection. Then there's the Philosopher's Stone, perhaps the most famous and elusive symbol in alchemy. Often depicted as a radiant stone or a glowing substance, it was said to hold the power to transmute base metals into gold and grant eternal life. But the Philosopher's Stone wasn't just a physical object, it was also a metaphor for spiritual enlightenment. Alchemists believed that the process of creating the stone mirrored the journey of the soul, a path of purification and self-discovery. The symbols associated with the stone, such as the sun and moon or the interlaced triangles of the hexagram, were rich with meaning, representing the union of opposites and the harmony of the cosmos. What's fascinating about alchemical symbols is how they blend the tangible and the intangible. They don't just describe chemical processes, they also encode spiritual truths and cosmic principles. Take, for example, the symbol for mercury, which represents both the liquid metal and the concept of fluidity and adaptability. Similarly, the symbol for sulfur isn't just a chemical element. It embodies the fiery, transformative energy that drives change. These dual meanings suggest that alchemists saw their work as more than just a practical science. It was a deeply philosophical and spiritual endeavor. But could these symbols be more than just the language of alchemy? Some researchers believe that alchemical symbols might be part of a larger, universal language, one that connects ancient wisdom with modern science. The idea isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. Many of the principles alchemists explored, such as the interconnectedness of all things or the transformative power of energy, echo concepts found in fields like quantum physics and ecology. Could it be that alchemists were onto something profound, using their symbols to encode knowledge that we're only beginning to understand today? This possibility raises an intriguing question. Were alchemists merely experimenting with chemicals, or were they preserving and transmitting a deeper understanding of the universe? The line between science and mysticism was often blurred in their work, and their symbols reflect this duality. Some historians suggest that alchemical texts and diagrams might have been a way to encode scientific knowledge, protecting it from those who weren't ready or worthy to receive it. If that's the case, then these symbols aren't just relics of the past, they're a bridge to a way of thinking that could still hold relevance today. As we move forward in our exploration, we'll see how symbols have continued to evolve, from the cryptic codes of alchemy to the mathematical equations of modern science. Could there be a thread connecting these seemingly disparate systems? The answer might lie in the next chapter of our journey, where we'll uncover how symbols have shaped and continue to shape our understanding of the world. From the depths of caves to the heights of pyramids, humanity's fascination with the stars has left an indelible mark on our history. Long before telescopes or modern science, ancient civilizations looked to the heavens, mapping the cosmos with symbols that captured the movements of celestial bodies and the rhythms of time. These symbols weren't just artistic expressions, they were tools for understanding the universe, guiding everything from agriculture to religious rituals. But could they also be part of a shared language, one that transcends cultural boundaries and speaks to a universal human connection with the cosmos? Take, for instance, the zodiac symbols, which have roots stretching back thousands of years. Originating in ancient Mesopotamia and later adopted by the Greeks, the zodiac divided the sky into 12 sections, each represented by a distinct symbol tied to constellations. These symbols weren't just about astrology, they were a way to track the passage of time, marking the seasons and guiding planting and harvesting cycles. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, each sign carried meaning, reflecting both the movements of the stars and the stories of the cultures that created them. What's remarkable is how these symbols spread across continents, appearing in various forms in Egyptian, Indian, and Chinese traditions. Was this a coincidence or evidence of a shared celestial language? Far across the Atlantic, the Maya developed their own intricate system of celestial symbols, recording astronomical events with astonishing precision. Their star charts, carved into stone and painted on codices, tracked the movements of Venus, Mars, and the Sun, enabling them to predict eclipses and align their calendars with cosmic cycles. The Mayan symbol for Venus, often depicted as a star with rays, wasn't just a representation of a planet. It was tied to their mythology, warfare, and even agricultural practices. For the Maya, the heavens were a living, breathing entity, and their symbols were a way to communicate with the gods who govern the stars. This blending of science and spirituality hints at a deeper connection between humanity and the cosmos, one that transcends mere observation. Perhaps one of the most striking examples of celestial symbolism is the Nebra sky disk, discovered in Germany and dating back to around 1600 BC. This bronze disk, inlaid with gold symbols, depicts the sun, moon, and stars, including a cluster thought to represent the Pleiades. The disk is believed to have been used as a calendar, helping ancient Europeans track lunar and solar cycles. But it's more than just a practical tool. It's a testament to how early societies sought to encode their understanding of the universe in tangible form. The Nebra sky disk bridges the gap between the earthly and the celestial, suggesting that even thousands of years ago, humans were grappling with profound questions about their place in the cosmos. What's fascinating is how these celestial symbols, despite being created by vastly different cultures, share common themes. The sun, moon, and stars appear again and again, not just as celestial bodies but as symbols of life, time, and the divine. Could this repetition point to a universal language, one that speaks to a shared human experience of wonder and curiosity about the heavens? Or is it simply a reflection of the fact that all civilizations, no matter how distant, looked up at the same sky? As we ponder these questions, another layer of symbolism emerges, one that connects the celestial to the mathematical. Ancient astronomers didn't just observe the stars, they measured them, calculating their movements and creating systems to predict their path. This brings us to the idea of mathematical codes, a form of symbolism that goes beyond images and enters the realm of numbers and equations. Could mathematics itself be the universal language that unites humanity's search for meaning, both in the stars and on Earth? The answer might lie in the next chapter of our journey. Mathematics has often been described as the language of the universe, a system of logic and patterns that transcends culture, time, and even language itself. From the intricate designs of ancient architecture to the complex algorithms driving modern technology, numbers and shapes have served as a bridge between the tangible and the abstract, the human and the cosmic. But could mathematics also be the key to unlocking a universal code, one that has been hidden in plain sight for millennia? Let's explore how numbers and geometry have been used to encode knowledge, convey universal truths, and perhaps even protect sacred wisdom. Take the Fibonacci sequence, for example, named after the 13th century Italian mathematician Leonardo Fibonacci. This series of numbers, where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones, appears everywhere in nature. From the spiral patterns of seashells to the arrangement of petals on a flower, the Fibonacci sequence reflects a fundamental order in the natural world. But its significance goes beyond mere observation. The sequence is closely tied to the golden ratio, a mathematical proportion often represented by the Greek letter phi. This ratio, approximately 1.618 to 1, has been revered for its aesthetic perfection, appearing in everything from the Parthenon's architecture to the proportions of the human body. Could this mathematical harmony point to a deeper, universal truth about the way the universe is structured? The idea of numbers and shapes holding deeper meaning isn't limited to modern mathematics. Ancient civilizations also revered these patterns, embedding them into their art, architecture, and spiritual practices. Sacred geometry, for instance, is the study of geometric forms and their symbolic meanings. Shapes like the circle, triangle, and pyramid weren't just aesthetic choices, they were seen as representations of cosmic principles. The circle, with its infinite symmetry, symbolized unity and eternity, while the triangle often represented the trinity of creation, preservation, and destruction. These shapes weren't just decorative, they were a way to encode spiritual and philosophical ideas, creating a visual language that could convey complex concepts without words. One of the most striking examples of sacred geometry is the flower of life, an intricate pattern of overlapping circles found in ancient sites across the globe from Egypt to China. This design, believed to represent the fundamental forms of space and time, has been interpreted as a blueprint of creation itself. Some even suggest that the flower of life contains the keys to understanding the universe's underlying structure, a kind of cosmic code hidden in geometric form. While these interpretations remain speculative, they highlight the enduring fascination with mathematics as a tool for unlocking the mysteries of existence. But mathematics isn't just about beauty or symbolism, it's also a powerful tool for encoding information. This brings us to the world of cryptography, the science of securing communication through codes. From the Caesar cipher used by ancient Romans to the complex algorithms protecting modern digital data, cryptography relies on mathematical principles to create systems that are both secure and efficient. The Enigma machine, famously used by Nazi Germany during World War II, is a prime example of how mathematics can be used to create seemingly unbreakable codes. Yet, it was also mathematics specifically, the work of cryptographers like Alan Turing, that ultimately cracked the enigma, turning the tide of the war. This duality, where mathematics can both create and unravel codes, underscores its role as a universal language of both concealment and revelation. So, what does all this mean? Could mathematics be the universal language hinted at in ancient symbols and codes? Some researchers believe so, arguing that the patterns and principles found in mathematics reflect the underlying order of the universe itself. Whether through the elegance of the Fibonacci sequence, the perfection of the golden ratio, or the complexity of cryptographic algorithms, mathematics offers a way to explore and understand the world on a profound level. It's a language that doesn't just describe reality, it shapes it, offering insights into everything from the structure of atoms to the movement of galaxies. But here's the tantalizing question. If mathematics is a universal language, could it also be a tool for protecting sacred knowledge? Throughout history, many cultures have used mathematical codes to safeguard their most important secrets, from the rituals of secret societies to the designs of sacred temples. These codes weren't just about hiding information, they were about ensuring that only those with the right understanding could access it. In this sense, mathematics becomes more than just a language. It becomes a gatekeeper, a way to preserve wisdom for future generations. As we continue our journey, we'll delve into how these mathematical codes have been used to protect and transmit sacred knowledge, exploring the line between communication and concealment. Could the symbols and patterns we've uncovered so far be part of a larger, hidden system, one that connects ancient wisdom with modern science? The answer might lie in the next chapter of our exploration, where we'll uncover the secrets of sacred texts and the codes they may contain. Across the tapestry of human history, religious symbols have served as powerful conduits of faith, identity, and spiritual connection. From the Christian cross to the Hindu arm, these icons transcend mere imagery. They carry profound meanings that resonate deeply within the hearts of believers. But what if these symbols do more than just represent individual faiths? What if they encode universal truths, forming a shared spiritual language that connects humanity across time and culture? Let's explore the rich world of religious symbols and sacred codes, and consider whether they might hold keys to a deeper, collective understanding. Take the Christian cross, one of the most recognizable symbols in the world. At its core, the cross represents sacrifice, redemption, and the promise of eternal life. But its meaning goes even deeper. The vertical and horizontal lines have been interpreted as a bridge between heaven and earth, a symbol of unity between the divine and the human. For believers, the cross isn't just a reminder of a historical event. It's a sacred code, a visual shorthand for the central tenets of their faith. Yet, the cross also appears in other cultures, often with different interpretations. In ancient Egypt, the anchor cross with a loop at the top symbolized life and immortality. Could these similarities hint at a shared understanding of spiritual concepts, even across vastly different traditions? Similarly, the Hindu symbol Om, often chanted as a mantra, holds layers of meaning that extend far beyond its visual form. Om is said to represent the primordial sound of the universe, the vibration from which all creation emerges. It's a symbol of the unity of mind, body, and spirit, as well as the cyclical nature of existence, creation, preservation, and dissolution. For Hindus, Om isn't just a symbol, it's a sacred code that encapsulates the essence of their spiritual philosophy. But could it also resonate with people outside the Hindu tradition? The idea of a universal sound or vibration aligns with modern scientific theories about the nature of reality, suggesting that Om might tap into a truth that transcends religious boundaries. Then there's the Star of David, a symbol deeply rooted in Jewish tradition. Composed of two interlocking triangles, it represents the relationship between God and humanity, as well as the balance between the spiritual and the earthly. Some interpretations suggest that the upward-pointing triangle symbolizes divine energy descending to the world, while the downward-pointing triangle represents humanity's aspiration to rise toward the divine. This dynamic interplay mirrors the universal human quest for connection with something greater than ourselves. But the Star of David also appears in other cultures, often with different meanings. In Hinduism, a similar symbol, the Shatkona, represents the union of masculine and feminine energies. Could these overlapping interpretations point to a shared spiritual vocabulary? What's fascinating about religious symbols is how they often embody universal principles in culturally specific ways. The crescent moon and star, for example, are widely associated with Islam, symbolizing guidance, light, and the divine presence. But the moon and stars have also played significant roles in other traditions, from ancient Mesopotamian moon gods to the celestial symbols of Native American spirituality. These recurring motifs suggest that certain ideas like light as a metaphor for wisdom or the heavens as a source of divine power resonate across cultures, even if the symbols themselves take on different forms. This raises an intriguing possibility. Could religious symbols be fragments of a universal spiritual language? Some scholars argue that these icons encode timeless truths about the human condition, our search for meaning, our connection to the divine, and our place in the cosmos. If that's the case, then these symbols aren't just tools for individual faiths. They're part of a larger collective effort to understand the mysteries of existence. Yet, this idea also invites skepticism. Are the similarities between symbols merely coincidental, or do they reflect a deeper, shared wisdom that predates organized religion? To explore this question further, we'll turn to the world of esoteric traditions, where symbols take on even more cryptic and layered meanings. These mystical traditions, often hidden from mainstream view, have long used symbols as a way to preserve and transmit sacred knowledge. Could their teachings offer clues to a universal spiritual language? The answer might lie just ahead as we delve into the enigmatic world of esoteric symbols and their hidden secrets. Hidden beneath the surface of mainstream religions, esoteric traditions have long thrived in the shadows, weaving intricate tapestries of symbols and codes to protect their most profound teachings. These mystical paths, Hermeticism, Kabbalah, Gnosticism, and others, weren't just about spirituality. They were about unlocking the mysteries of existence itself. At the heart of these traditions lies a shared belief that the deepest truths of the universe can only be understood through symbolic language, a kind of spiritual cipher that transcends ordinary words. But what secrets do these symbols hold? And could they be part of a universal language, a way to communicate ideas that words alone cannot express? Let's begin with the Kabbalah, a mystical branch of Judaism that has fascinated scholars and seekers for centuries. Central to Kabbalistic thought is the Tree of Life, a diagram composed of 10 interconnected spheres or sephirot, each representing a different aspect of divine energy. These spheres aren't just abstract concepts, they form a map of creation, illustrating how the infinite divine flows into the finite world. The Tree of Life is more than a symbol. It's a tool for spiritual growth, guiding practitioners through a journey of self-discovery and enlightenment. But here's the intriguing part. The Sephirot are also linked by 22 paths, each corresponding to a letter in the Hebrew alphabet. This connection between symbols and language suggests that Kabbalah views words, and by extension, symbols, as more than mere tools for communication. They are gateways to divine understanding, a way to access truths that lie beyond the reach of ordinary thought. Moving to Hermeticism, we encounter another rich tradition of symbolic wisdom. Rooted in the teachings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a legendary figure blending Egyptian and Greek wisdom, Hermeticism revolves around the idea that the universe operates according to universal laws, principles that can be understood and harnessed through the study of symbols. One of the most famous Hermetic texts is the Emerald Tablet, a short but profound work that distills the essence of Hermetic philosophy into cryptic statements like, "as above, so below." This phrase, often interpreted as a reflection of the macrocosm and microcosm, suggests that the patterns of the cosmos are mirrored in the smallest details of existence. The symbols and codes used in Hermetic texts weren't just decorative, they were meant to encode this universal wisdom, protecting it from those who might misuse it while revealing it to those who are ready to understand. Then there's Gnosticism, an ancient movement that sought to uncover the hidden knowledge gnosis of the divine. Gnostics believed that the material world was a flawed creation, a prison from which the soul must escape to return to its true spiritual home. Their symbols, often found in texts like the Gospel of Thomas or the Nag Hammadi library, are rich with imagery of light, darkness, and duality. For example, the pleroma, a term used to describe the fullness of the divine realm, is depicted as a radiant, infinite space, a stark contrast to the shadowy, imperfect world of matter. These symbols weren't just philosophical concepts, they were tools for awakening, designed to guide seekers toward a higher understanding of reality. What connects these traditions is their use of symbols as a kind of spiritual shorthand, a way to convey complex ideas that resist ordinary explanation. The Tree of Life, the Emerald Tablet, the Pleroma, each of these symbols serves as a key to unlocking deeper truths, a bridge between the seen and the unseen. But here's the twist: these symbols weren't just meant to reveal, they were also designed to conceal. By encoding their teachings in cryptic imagery, esoteric traditions ensured that their wisdom would only be accessible to those who had the insight to decode it. This duality, revelation and concealment, raises an intriguing question. Could these symbols be part of a universal language, a way to communicate truths that transcend cultural and linguistic boundaries? While the idea is compelling, it's also worth considering the flip side. Some scholars argue that the obscurity of these symbols wasn't just about protecting sacred knowledge, it was also about maintaining exclusivity. By keeping their teachings hidden, esoteric traditions could control who had access to their wisdom, ensuring that only the initiated could benefit. This tension between openness and secrecy adds another layer of complexity to the study of esoteric symbols, reminding us that not all codes are meant to be cracked. As we reflect on these traditions, one thing becomes clear: symbols are more than just images or signs. They are vessels of meaning, carriers of ideas that transcend time and space. Whether they encode universal truths or protect hidden knowledge, they remind us of humanity's enduring quest to understand the mysteries of existence. And as we turn our attention to the modern world, we'll explore how these ancient symbols continue to influence our understanding of reality, shaping everything from art and literature to science and technology. Could the keys to a universal language still be hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to unlock their secrets? The journey continues. As we step into the modern era, the art of codes and encryption has transformed from ancient symbols etched in stone to complex algorithms running through the veins of our digital world. The need to protect information, whether it's a military secret or your online banking password, has driven humanity to develop increasingly sophisticated methods of encryption. But the story of codes didn't start with computers. It stretches back to the earliest attempts at secret communication, from the simple substitution ciphers used by Julius Caesar to the intricate Enigma machine of World War II. The evolution of encryption is a testament to human ingenuity and our relentless drive to outwit those who seek to intercept our messages. Take the Caesar cipher, for example. Named after the Roman emperor who famously used it, this method involved shifting each letter of the alphabet by a fixed number of places. While it might seem rudimentary by today's standards, it was revolutionary for its time, allowing generals to send orders without fear of interception. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we encounter the Enigma machine, a device so advanced that it was believed to be unbreakable. Used by Nazi Germany to encrypt military communications, the Enigma machine employed a series of rotating wheels and electrical circuits to scramble messages into seemingly random sequences of letters. It wasn't until a team of cryptographers, including the brilliant Alan Turing, developed a machine capable of cracking the Enigma code that the Allies gained a critical advantage in the war. This pivotal moment in history not only changed the course of World War II, but also laid the groundwork for modern computing. Today, encryption has reached levels of complexity that would have been unimaginable to the ancients. Modern cryptographic algorithms, like the Advanced Encryption Standard AES, use mathematical principles to create codes that are virtually unbreakable without the correct key. These algorithms are the backbone of our digital world, safeguarding everything from personal emails to global financial transactions. But here's where things get fascinating. Could the same techniques we use to protect information today help us unlock the secrets of the past? Could modern encryption methods provide a key to decoding ancient symbols that have baffled scholars for centuries? Some researchers believe the answer might be yes. The principles of cryptography, patterns, substitutions, and transformations are not so different from the symbolic systems used by ancient civilizations. For example, the Voynich Manuscript, with its undecipherable script and strange illustrations, has been subjected to numerous attempts at decoding using modern cryptographic techniques. While no definitive breakthrough has been made, the process has revealed tantalizing patterns that suggest the manuscript might indeed contain a hidden message, waiting for the right key to unlock it. Similarly, the undeciphered scripts of the Indus Valley and Linear have been analyzed using computational methods, offering new insights even if the full meaning remains elusive. This raises an intriguing possibility. Could the gap between ancient symbols and modern encryption be smaller than we think? If so, what tools might help bridge that gap? Enter artificial intelligence, the latest frontier in the quest to decode the past. AI's ability to process vast amounts of data, recognize patterns, and learn from its findings makes it a powerful ally in the study of ancient scripts. But how exactly can AI help us unravel these age-old mysteries? That's where our journey takes us next. In the quest to decode the mysteries of the past, humanity has turned to one of its most powerful modern tools, artificial intelligence. With its ability to process vast amounts of data, recognize intricate patterns, and learn from its findings, AI has opened up entirely new possibilities for deciphering ancient scripts and symbols. From the undeciphered texts of the Indus Valley to the cryptic pages of the Voynich Manuscript, researchers are now harnessing the power of machine learning to tackle puzzles that have stumped scholars for centuries. But how exactly does this technology work, and what breakthroughs has it achieved so far? One of the most exciting developments in recent years has been the use of AI to analyze the Voynich Manuscript, a book that has baffled linguists, historians, and cryptographers since its discovery over a century ago. Written in an unknown script and filled with bizarre illustrations of plants, stars, and human figures, the manuscript has resisted every attempt at translation. However, in 2018, a team of researchers used machine learning algorithms to identify patterns in the text, suggesting that it might not be a random collection of symbols after all. While the full meaning remains elusive, this breakthrough has reignited hope that the Voynich Manuscript could one day be understood, offering a glimpse into the mind of its enigmatic creator. AI's potential doesn't stop there. In 2020, another team applied machine learning techniques to the ancient Greek text known as the Linear B script, which was deciphered in the 1950s. By training the AI on known translations, they were able to uncover new insights about the language's structure and grammar, even identifying previously unrecognized words. This success has inspired researchers to apply similar methods to undeciphered scripts like Linear A and the symbols of the Indus Valley civilization. While these efforts are still in their early stages, they demonstrate the power of AI to unlock secrets that have remained hidden for millennia. But what makes AI so effective in this field? Unlike traditional methods which rely heavily on human intuition and trial and error, machine learning can analyze vast datasets at incredible speeds, identifying patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed. For example, an algorithm can compare thousands of inscriptions, looking for recurring symbols or structures that could point to a common meaning. It can also cross-reference known languages and scripts, searching for connections that might bridge the gap between the familiar and the unknown. In essence, AI acts as a tireless collaborator, sifting through the noise to reveal the signal hidden within. This raises a tantalizing question. Could AI help us uncover a universal language, one that connects the symbols and scripts of disparate cultures? Some researchers believe that beneath the surface of these ancient codes lies a shared understanding, a way of encoding knowledge that transcends time and geography. If so, then AI might be the key to unlocking this hidden language, revealing insights into how our ancestors thought, communicated, and understood the world around them. Yet, there's another possibility to consider. What if some of these codes were never meant to be understood by their contemporaries? What if they were designed to communicate with future generations, using methods and technologies that only later civilizations would possess? It's a fascinating idea, suggesting that the creators of these symbols might have had a vision that extended far beyond their own time. If that's the case, then the role of AI becomes even more profound, acting as a bridge between the past and the future, between the creators of these codes and the generations tasked with deciphering them. As we continue to explore these ancient mysteries, one thing is clear. The combination of human curiosity and technological innovation is a powerful force. Whether AI ultimately unlocks a universal language or simply helps us piece together fragments of the past, its role in this journey is undeniable. And as we turn our gaze to the future, we're left wondering what other secrets might lie waiting, encoded in the symbols and scripts of civilizations long gone. Could the answers be closer than we think? The search continues. What if the symbols and codes left behind by ancient civilizations were never meant for their contemporaries at all? What if they were designed as time capsules, intended to convey messages to future generations, or even to beings beyond our world? This idea might sound like something out of science fiction, but when we examine some of history's most enigmatic artifacts, it's hard not to wonder if they were crafted with a far-reaching purpose in mind. From sprawling geoglyphs etched into the earth to intricate machines that defy their time, these creations seem to whisper of a deeper intent, a desire to communicate across the vast expanse of time. Take the Nazca lines, for example. Stretching across the arid plains of southern Peru, these massive geoglyphs depict everything from animals and plants to geometric shapes and humanoid figures. Created by the Nazca culture between 500 BC and 500 CE, the lines are so large that they can only be fully appreciated from the air. But why would a civilization without the ability to fly create something meant to be seen from above? Some researchers suggest that the Nazca lines were a form of communication with the gods, while others propose they might have served as astronomical calendars. Yet there's another, more intriguing possibility. Could these lines have been a message to future civilizations or even extraterrestrial visitors? The idea is speculative, but it's not without precedent. The Nazca people may have believed that their symbols would endure, waiting for someone or something to discover and interpret them long after their own time had passed. Then there's the Antikythera mechanism, a device so advanced for its time that it challenges our understanding of ancient technology. Discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Greece in 1901, this intricate bronze machine dates back to around 100 BCE and is often referred to as the world's first analog computer. Using a complex system of gears, it could predict astronomical events, track the cycles of the moon, and even calculate the dates of ancient Olympic Games. The Antikythera mechanism is a marvel of engineering, but it's also a mystery. Why was such a sophisticated device created in an era when most people believed the heavens were ruled by gods rather than mathematics? Some have speculated that it might have been a tool for navigation or a teaching device, but others suggest it could have been a kind of time capsule, encoding knowledge about the cosmos for future generations to uncover. If so, it's a testament to the ingenuity and foresight of its creators, who may have understood that their work would outlast their own civilization. These examples raise a fascinating question. Could ancient symbols and artifacts be more than just relics of the past? Could they be deliberate attempts to communicate across time, preserving knowledge and wisdom for those who would come after? The idea isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. Throughout history, humans have sought to leave a mark to ensure that their stories and discoveries wouldn't be forgotten. From the cave paintings of Lascaux to the Rosetta Stone, we've used symbols to bridge the gap between generations to say, we were here and this is what we knew. But what if this desire to communicate extends even further beyond the boundaries of time and even our own planet? Could some of these symbols and artifacts be attempts to reach out to extraterrestrial civilizations? The Nazca lines, with their massive scale and aerial perspective, have often been cited as possible evidence of such an intent. Similarly, the golden records aboard the Voyager spacecraft, launched in 1977, carry images, sounds, and messages intended to communicate with any intelligent life that might encounter them. These modern time capsules are a reminder that the impulse to reach beyond our own world is deeply rooted in the human spirit. As we ponder these possibilities, we're left with a profound sense of connection not just to the past, but to the future and the cosmos beyond. The symbols and codes left behind by ancient civilizations may hold secrets we've yet to uncover, messages that transcend time and space. Could they be part of a larger effort to communicate with beings we've yet to meet? The answer might lie in the next chapter of our journey, where we'll explore the tantalizing idea of extraterrestrial communication and the role symbols might play in bridging the gap between worlds. The idea that some ancient symbols might not be of human origin is both thrilling and deeply controversial. Could it be possible that certain enigmatic markings, etched into the earth or encoded in artifacts, are messages from beings beyond our planet? This theory, often dismissed as fringe, has gained traction in recent decades, fueled by phenomena that defy conventional explanation. From the intricate patterns of crop circles to the mysterious signals detected from deep space, these anomalies invite us to consider whether a universal language might extend far beyond the boundaries of Earth. Take crop circles, for instance. These intricate designs, often appearing overnight in fields of wheat, barley, or corn, have fascinated and perplexed observers for decades. While many crop circles have been revealed as human-made hoaxes, Others display a level of complexity and precision that seems almost impossible to achieve in a single night. Some of these formations feature intricate geometric patterns, mathematical ratios, and even references to celestial alignments. Could these designs be more than just elaborate pranks? Some researchers suggest that they might be attempts at communication, a kind of visual language intended to convey ideas or information to those who encounter them. Whether created by human hands or something else, crop circles challenge us to consider the possibility that symbols can transcend cultural and even planetary boundaries. Then there's the WOW signal, a radio signal detected by astronomer Jerry Amon in 1977. Lasting just 72 seconds, the signal came from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius and was so powerful that Amon famously wrote, "Wow." Next to the data printout, despite decades of searching, the signal has never been detected again, leaving its origin a mystery. Was it a natural phenomenon, or could it have been an intentional broadcast from an extraterrestrial civilization? The WOW signal has become a symbol of humanity's search for connection beyond our world, a fleeting glimpse of something that might have been a message from the stars. These examples raise a profound question. Could a universal language include not just human cultures but also potential extraterrestrial ones? The idea isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. Mathematics, for example, is often described as the language of the universe, a system of logic and patterns that could theoretically be understood by any intelligent species. If we were to receive a message from another civilization, it's likely that it would be encoded in a way that transcends spoken or written language, perhaps using symbols, mathematical equations, or even visual patterns like crop circles. This suggests that a universal language might not be limited to Earth but could be a bridge between worlds, a way to communicate across the vast distances of space. But here's another intriguing possibility. What if some of these symbols and codes were created not just to communicate with extraterrestrials but to unify humanity itself? Throughout history, symbols have served as tools for bringing people together, forging connections across cultures and generations. The Olympic rings, for example, represent the unity of nations through sport, while the peace sign has become a global symbol of harmony and cooperation. Could ancient symbols, too, have been designed to foster a sense of shared purpose or understanding? If so, then their meaning might extend far beyond their original context, offering a way for humanity to connect not just with each other but with the cosmos as well. As we explore these ideas, we're reminded that the search for a universal language is about more than just deciphering symbols. It's about understanding our place in the universe. Whether these codes were created by humans, extraterrestrials, or something else entirely, they invite us to consider the possibility that we're part of a larger story, one that stretches across time and space. The next chapter of this journey will take us even deeper as we explore how symbols and codes might serve as tools for unity, bringing humanity together in ways we've only begun to imagine. The dream of a universal language has captivated thinkers and visionaries for centuries. Imagine a world where people from every corner of the globe could communicate effortlessly, where words and ideas flowed freely across borders without the barriers of translation. This vision isn't just a modern ideal, it's a pursuit that has roots deep in human history. From ancient myths about a shared tongue lost in the mists of time to modern attempts to construct new languages, the quest for a universal language reflects humanity's enduring desire to connect, collaborate, and understand one another. One of the most well-known attempts to create a universal language is Esperanto, developed in the late 19th century by L. Zamenhof. Designed to be easy to learn and culturally neutral, Esperanto was envisioned as a bridge between nations, a tool to foster peace and mutual understanding. While it never became the global lingua franca its creator hoped for, Esperanto has endured as a living language spoken by communities around the world. Its grammar is simple, its vocabulary draws from multiple European languages, and its philosophy is rooted in the belief that language can be a force for unity. But Esperanto is just one example. Another constructed language, Lojban, takes a different approach. Built on principles of logic and precision, Lojban aims to eliminate ambiguity, making communication as clear and efficient as possible. Though less widely known, Lojban represents another facet of the universal language dream, the idea that language can be a tool for clarity and shared understanding. But what if the key to a universal language isn't something we need to invent? What if it's already hidden in plain sight, encoded in the forgotten symbols and ancient scripts we've been exploring throughout this journey? Many scholars have speculated that the recurring motifs and patterns found in symbols across cultures, spirals, circles, celestial maps, might be remnants of a once shared global language. Could these symbols represent a kind of proto-language, a way of communicating that predates the divisions of modern tongues? It's a tantalizing idea, suggesting that beneath the surface of our linguistic diversity lies a deeper, more universal way of understanding the world. Consider the similarities between the sacred symbols of different cultures. The sun, for example, appears as a central motif in countless traditions, from the Egyptian god Ra to the Aztec sunstone. While the specific meanings vary, the sun often symbolizes life, energy, and the divine. Could these shared associations point to a universal understanding, a way of encoding knowledge that transcends cultural boundaries? If so, then decoding these symbols might not just reveal the secrets of the past, it could also help us rediscover a shared language, one that brings us closer together as a global community. This idea raises an intriguing question. Could the act of decoding these ancient symbols help us achieve a deeper level of global understanding? If we can uncover the meanings behind these shared motifs, might we also uncover a way to bridge the divides that separate us? It's a hopeful thought, one that suggests the potential for unity lies not just in the languages we speak today, but in the symbols and codes left behind by those who came before us. As we reflect on this possibility, it's worth considering how cultural exchange has always been a driving force behind human progress. From the Silk Road to the digital age, the sharing of ideas, art, and knowledge has shaped the course of history. Symbols in this context are more than just marks on a page. They are vessels of meaning, carrying the stories and wisdom of one culture to another. Whether through trade, migration, or conquest, the exchange of symbols has enriched our collective understanding, reminding us that no culture exists in isolation. This brings us to the next chapter of our journey, the power of cultural exchange in shaping the symbols and codes we've been exploring. How have the interactions between civilizations influenced the development of these enigmatic systems? And what can they teach us about the ways we connect, communicate, and create meaning? The answers might lie in the stories of those who crossed borders, both literally and figuratively, to share their knowledge with the world. Throughout history, the movement of people, goods, and ideas has shaped the world in ways that go far beyond borders and empires. One of the most fascinating aspects of this cultural exchange is how symbols have traveled across continents, evolving and adapting as they were adopted by different societies. These shared symbols, often carrying layers of meaning, offer a glimpse into how humanity has always sought to communicate and connect, even across vast distances and cultural divides. But what happens when a symbol transcends its original context and takes on new meanings? And could these shared symbols be evidence of a universal language, a way for humanity to express ideas that resonate across time and space? Take the swastika, for example. Today, it's a symbol that evokes strong emotions due to its association with the atrocities of the 20th century. But its history stretches back thousands of years, appearing in cultures as diverse as ancient India, Greece, and the Americas. In Hinduism and Buddhism, the swastika is a sacred symbol representing good fortune, prosperity, and the eternal cycle of life. For Native American tribes like the Navajo, it symbolized harmony and the four winds. Even in early Christianity, the swastika was used as a decorative motif, often found in mosaics and carvings. How did a single symbol come to hold such different meanings across cultures? The answer lies in the power of cultural exchange, the movement of people, ideas, and symbols along trade routes through migration and sometimes even through conquest. The Silk Road, one of the most famous trade networks in history, played a pivotal role in spreading symbols across vast regions. As merchants, travelers, and scholars moved between East and West, they carried not only goods but also ideas, art, and religious practices. Symbols like the swastika, the lotus flower, and the tree of life began to appear in new contexts, blending with local traditions and taking on new significance. This exchange wasn't just about the physical movement of objects. It was about the sharing of meaning, the way symbols could bridge languages and cultures to convey universal ideas. But cultural exchange wasn't always peaceful. Conquest and colonization also played a role in spreading symbolic language, often in ways that were complex and fraught with tension. When the Roman Empire expanded, it absorbed the symbols and deities of the cultures it conquered, creating a rich tapestry of shared iconography. Similarly, during the Age of Exploration, European colonizers brought their symbols to the Americas, Africa, and Asia, where they mingled with indigenous traditions, sometimes clashing and sometimes blending in unexpected ways. These interactions remind us that symbols are not static. They are living, evolving forms of communication that reflect the dynamic interplay of cultures. This raises an intriguing question. Could these shared symbols be evidence of a universal language? Some scholars believe that the recurring motifs found in cultures around the world, spirals, crosses, circles, and celestial symbols, might point to a shared understanding of fundamental concepts. For example, the spiral appears in everything from ancient Celtic art to the petroglyphs of the American Southwest, often representing growth, transformation, or the cycle of life. These similarities suggest that certain ideas are so fundamental to the human experience that they find expression in similar forms across cultures. Could this be the remnants of a universal language, one that predates the divisions of modern tongues? Yet, the journey of symbols across cultures is not always straightforward. Over time, symbols can be lost, misinterpreted, or even co-opted for entirely new purposes. The swastika, once a symbol of harmony and good fortune, is a stark reminder of how meaning can shift dramatically. Similarly, the ankh, an ancient Egyptian symbol of life, has been adopted and reinterpreted by various groups, from New Age spiritualists to popular culture. These transformations highlight the challenges of decoding ancient symbols. How do we distinguish between their original meanings and the layers of interpretation that have been added over centuries? As we explore these questions, we're reminded that symbols are more than just images or signs. They are vessels of meaning carrying the stories, beliefs, and aspirations of the cultures that created them. And in their ability to cross borders and endure through time, they offer a powerful testament to humanity's shared quest for understanding. Could the key to a universal language lie in these shared symbols, waiting for us to rediscover their original meanings? Or have some of these symbols been lost to time, their true significance obscured by the passage of centuries? The search for answers continues as we delve deeper into the mysteries of cultural exchange and the enduring power of symbols to connect us. Symbols, by their very nature, are powerful conveyors of meaning. But what happens when that meaning gets lost or twisted over time? Throughout history, symbols have traveled across cultures, been reinterpreted, and sometimes completely misunderstood. Without the cultural context in which they were created, symbols can take on entirely new meanings or, worse, lose their original significance altogether. This phenomenon, often referred to as lost in translation, raises a crucial question. Could misinterpretation be obscuring the true messages encoded in these ancient marks? Consider the petroglyphs created by Native American tribes, etched into rock faces across what is now the southwestern United States. To the untrained eye, these carvings might appear as simple depictions of animals, human figures, or abstract shapes. But for the indigenous communities who created them, these symbols were deeply tied to their spiritual beliefs, cultural practices, and even practical knowledge about the land. For example, some petroglyphs are thought to mark sacred sites or serve as maps for hunting grounds. Yet, when viewed without this context, they risk being misinterpreted as mere art or, worse, dismissed as primitive doodles. This loss of meaning isn't just a disservice to the symbols themselves, it's a disconnection from the rich cultural heritage they represent. Misinterpretation isn't limited to ancient symbols. It also occurs when modern societies appropriate or misuse symbols from other cultures. Take the ancient Egyptian ankh, a symbol of life and immortality. In its original context, the ankh was a sacred emblem, often held by gods and pharaohs to signify eternal life. Today, however, it's often seen adorning jewelry, clothing, and even pop culture references, stripped of its spiritual significance. While this might seem harmless, it raises ethical questions about cultural appropriation and the erasure of a symbol's deeper meaning. When symbols are divorced from their origins, they risk becoming empty shells, their true messages lost to time. The challenges of decoding symbols without cultural context are immense. Symbols often carry layers of meaning that can't be fully understood without knowledge of the society that created them. For instance, the spiral, a common motif found in everything from Celtic art to indigenous Australian rock carvings, might represent growth and transformation in one culture, while symbolizing the cycle of life and death in another. Without the cultural lens through which to interpret these symbols, we're left guessing at their true significance. This ambiguity is compounded when symbols are passed down through generations, their original meanings diluted or altered by each new interpreter. So, could misinterpretation be hiding the true meaning of these symbols? The answer is likely yes. When we view symbols through the filter of our own cultural biases or without the necessary historical knowledge, we risk missing the deeper truths they were meant to convey. This isn't just an academic concern, it's a reminder of how fragile the transmission of knowledge can be. Symbols, after all, are more than just images. They're vessels of meaning carrying the stories, beliefs, and wisdom of the people who created them. But here's an intriguing thought. Despite the risk of misinterpretation, some symbols seem to recur across cultures, suggesting a shared understanding of certain ideas. These recurring motifs, like the circle, the spiral, or the sun, hint at something deeper, the possibility of symbolic archetypes, universal patterns that resonate across time and geography. Could these archetypes be the key to unlocking a shared language, one that transcends cultural boundaries and connects us to a deeper, collective understanding? As we explore this idea further, we'll delve into the concept of symbolic archetypes and how they might reveal a universal thread woven through humanity's symbolic tapestry. Throughout history, certain symbols and stories have appeared again and again in cultures separated by vast distances and centuries of time. These recurring motifs, like the hero's journey, the nurturing mother, or the mischievous trickster, are more than just coincidences. They might be clues to something deeper, something universal. The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung called these recurring patterns archetypes, and he believed they were fundamental to the way humans understand the world. According to Jung, archetypes are like mental blueprints shared across cultures that shape our dreams, myths, and even our art. They're the building blocks of the collective unconscious, a kind of shared mental inheritance that connects all of humanity. But could these archetypes also be the key to decoding the forgotten symbols and codes we've been exploring? Could they reveal a universal language, one that speaks to the deepest parts of the human psyche? Take the hero archetype, for example. From the epic tales of Gilgamesh in ancient Mesopotamia to the modern adventures of superheroes like Spider-Man, the hero's journey is a story that resonates across cultures. It's a narrative of transformation, of leaving the familiar, facing challenges, and returning changed. This archetype isn't just about entertainment. It's a way for us to process our own struggles and triumphs, to find meaning in the chaos of life. Similarly, the mother archetype, often symbolized by figures like Gaia in Greek mythology or the Virgin Mary in Christianity, represents nurturing, creation, and the life-giving forces of nature. These archetypes aren't just stories, they're reflections of universal human experiences, encoded in symbols and myths that transcend time and place. Then there's the trickster archetype, a figure who disrupts order and challenges the status quo. Whether it's Loki in Norse mythology, Anansi the spider in West African folklore, or the coyote in Native American tales, the trickster embodies chaos, creativity, and the unpredictable nature of life. These figures remind us that not everything can be controlled or understood, that there's always an element of surprise in the human experience. What's fascinating is how these archetypes appear in so many different forms, yet carry similar meanings across cultures. Could this suggest that they're part of a shared symbolic language, one that speaks to the core of what it means to be human? Jung's theory of archetypes offers a compelling framework for understanding why certain symbols and stories feel so familiar, even when we encounter them in cultures far removed from our own. These archetypes aren't just abstract ideas, they're deeply embedded in our minds, shaping the way we interpret the world. For example, the circle, a symbol found in countless cultures, might represent wholeness, unity, or the eternal cycle of life. These meanings aren't arbitrary, they're rooted in the way our brains process patterns and make connections. In this sense, archetypes could be seen as a kind of psychological code, a way for humans to communicate fundamental truths about existence without relying on spoken or written language. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Could ancient symbols have been used to encode these psychological truths? Some researchers believe that the creators of these symbols were tapping into the same archetypal patterns that Jung identified, using them to convey ideas that words alone couldn't express. For instance, the labyrinth, a symbol found in cultures from ancient Greece to medieval Europe, might represent the journey of the self, a path of discovery and transformation that mirrors the hero's journey. Similarly, the mandala, a circular design used in Hindu and Buddhist traditions, might symbolize the quest for inner harmony and balance. These symbols aren't just decorative, they're tools for exploring the human psyche, for making sense of the world and our place in it. This raises a profound question. If archetypes are universal, could they also be the key to unlocking the secrets of forgotten codes? If symbols like the labyrinth or the mandala are rooted in shared human experiences, then decoding them might not just reveal historical knowledge, it could also offer insights into the way our ancestors thought and felt. In this sense, the search for a universal language isn't just about deciphering symbols. It's about understanding the human mind itself. And as we continue this exploration, we'll see how these archetypal patterns have shaped not just ancient symbols, but also the way we communicate and create meaning today. The idea of archetypes as a universal language invites us to consider how symbols might function on a psychological level. Could they be more than just markers of cultural identity or tools for communication? Could they also be windows into the human soul, revealing the fears, hopes, and dreams that unite us all? As we delve deeper into the mysteries of symbols and codes, we'll explore how these archetypes continue to shape our understanding of the world, offering a bridge between the past and the present, the individual and the collective. What other secrets might these ancient symbols hold? The journey is far from over. Symbols have always been more than just images or marks. They are mirrors reflecting the depths of the human mind. Across cultures and centuries, symbols have been used to represent psychological concepts, from the chaotic swirls of the subconscious to the structured harmony of the conscious self. One of the most striking examples of this is the mandala, a sacred symbol in Eastern spirituality. Originating in Hindu and Buddhist traditions, the mandala is a circular design that represents the universe, the self, and the journey toward enlightenment. But it's not just a spiritual tool, it's also a psychological one. Carl Jung, the pioneering psychologist, saw the mandala as a symbol of wholeness and integration, a way for the mind to visualize and reconcile its inner conflicts. For Jung, creating or meditating on a mandala wasn't just an act of devotion. It was a process of self-discovery, a way to bring the fragmented pieces of the psyche into balance. Dreams offer another fascinating window into the language of symbols. Throughout history, people have looked to their dreams for guidance, insight, and even prophecy. Ancient cultures, from the Egyptians to the Greeks, believed that dreams were messages from the divine, encoded in symbols that needed to be interpreted. Today, modern psychology sees dreams as a reflection of the subconscious mind, a place where fears, desires, and unresolved conflicts come to the surface in symbolic form. For example, dreaming of water might represent emotions, while flying could symbolize a desire for freedom or escape. These symbols aren't random. They're deeply tied to the way our minds process experiences and emotions. By decoding these symbols, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, our hidden fears, unspoken desires, and the inner workings of our psyche. This raises an intriguing question. Could the symbols we create and encounter in our waking lives serve a similar purpose? From the images we see in art and media to the logos and icons that surround us daily, symbols are everywhere, shaping how we think and feel. Take the yin-yang symbol, for instance. This ancient Chinese emblem represents the balance of opposites, light and dark, masculine and feminine, active and passive. On the surface, it's a simple design, but its meaning runs deep, reflecting the universal human experience of striving for harmony in a world of contradictions. Could decoding such symbols help us better understand not just our own minds, but also the shared experiences that connect us as a species? The idea of symbols as a psychological language invites us to consider how art and creativity might play a role in this process. After all, art has long been a medium for exploring the human condition, a way to externalize the inner world and give it form. From the abstract paintings of Wassily Kandinsky, which sought to capture the spiritual and emotional essence of color and shape, to the surrealist works of Salvador Dali, which delve into the bizarre landscapes of the subconscious, art has always been a powerful tool for expressing what words cannot. Could the symbols we create in art be another key to unlocking the mysteries of the mind? This brings us to the next chapter of our journey, the role of artistic expression in shaping and preserving the language of symbols. What insights might we gain by exploring the intersection of art, psychology, and symbolism? The answers lie just ahead. Art has always been a powerful medium for expressing the inexpressible, those ideas and emotions that words alone cannot capture. Through symbols, artists have found a way to communicate on a deeper level, transcending language barriers and cultural divides. From the vibrant canvases of the Renaissance to the dreamlike landscapes of surrealism, symbols have played a central role in artistic expression, offering a visual language that speaks to the universal human experience. But could this language of symbols in art hold the key to a universal way of understanding? Let's explore how artists have used symbols to convey complex ideas and perhaps even encode profound truths about existence. Take the surrealist master Salvador Dali, whose works are a labyrinth of symbols that defy logic and invite interpretation. In his iconic painting, The Persistence of Memory, melting clocks draped over barren landscapes seem to warp the very concept of time. These clocks aren't just strange visuals, they're symbols of the fluidity and subjectivity of time, a theme that resonates with anyone who has ever felt time slip away or stretch endlessly. Dali's use of symbols wasn't just about creating striking images, it was about tapping into the subconscious, using surreal and often unsettling imagery to provoke thought and emotion. His work suggests that symbols can bypass the rational mind, speaking directly to our deeper instincts and intuitions. Could this be one of the reasons why art feels so universal? Because it speaks to something primal within us. But Dali isn't the only artist to wield symbols with such power. Centuries earlier, Renaissance painters like Leonardo da Vinci and Sandro Botticelli used symbols to convey not just religious or mythological stories, but also philosophical and scientific ideas. Consider Botticelli's The Birth of Venus, where the goddess emerging from the sea on a shell represents not just beauty and love, but also the Renaissance ideal of humanism, the belief in the potential and dignity of humankind. The painting's use of color, too, is symbolic. The soft blues and golds evoke a sense of divine harmony, while the shell itself symbolizes creation and renewal. These layers of meaning make the work more than just a visual feast. They transform it into a conversation about humanity's place in the cosmos. The symbolic use of color is another fascinating aspect of artistic expression. In Renaissance art, colors weren't chosen at random, they carried specific meanings. Red, for instance, often symbolized passion, power, or martyrdom, while blue represented purity, divine grace, or the heavens. These color codes allowed artists to convey complex narratives and emotions without relying solely on text or dialogue. Even today, we instinctively respond to color symbolism, whether it's the calming effect of a peaceful blue sky or the urgency of a red stop sign. This shared understanding of color suggests that art, in its use of symbols, might indeed function as a universal language, one that transcends spoken or written words. This raises an intriguing question. Could artistic symbols encode not just emotions or stories, but also philosophical truths? Some scholars believe that artists have long used symbols to explore and express ideas about the nature of reality, the self, and the divine. For example, the mandala, a circular design used in Hindu and Buddhist art, isn't just a beautiful pattern, it's a representation of the universe and the journey towards spiritual enlightenment. Similarly, the labyrinth, a recurring motif in medieval art, symbolizes the winding path of life and the search for meaning. These symbols aren't just decorative, they're philosophical tools offering a way to visualize and grapple with profound questions about existence. What's remarkable is how these symbols resonate across cultures and time periods. The circle, for instance, appears in everything from ancient petroglyphs to modern abstract art, often representing unity, wholeness, or the infinite. This recurring motif suggests that certain ideas are so fundamental to the human experience that they find expression in similar forms across different artistic traditions. Could this be evidence of a universal symbolic language, one that speaks to the core of what it means to be human? As we reflect on the role of symbols in art, it's clear that they are more than just aesthetic choices. They are a way for artists to communicate ideas that words cannot fully capture, to explore the mysteries of existence, and to connect with viewers on a profound level. Whether through the surreal landscapes of Dali, the allegorical richness of Renaissance paintings, or the spiritual depth of mandalas, symbols have the power to transcend time, culture, and language. Could this be the key to a universal language, one that unites us through shared images and meanings? The answer might lie in the next chapter of our journey, where we'll explore how symbols have been used to encode not just artistic truths, but also philosophical and spiritual wisdom. The possibilities are as vast as the human imagination itself. Symbols have long been a bridge between the tangible and the abstract, offering a way to express ideas that defy simple explanation. In the realm of philosophy, symbols take on an even deeper role, serving as visual shorthand for complex concepts that shape our understanding of reality. One of the most enduring examples is Plato's allegory of the cave, a story that uses powerful imagery to explore the nature of perception and enlightenment. In this allegory, prisoners are chained inside a dark cave, seeing only shadows cast on the wall. To them, these shadows are the only reality they know. But what if one prisoner were freed and brought into the light? Would they believe the world outside the cave, or would they cling to the shadows they've always known? This story, rich with symbolic meaning, isn't just a metaphor for ignorance and enlightenment, it's a profound commentary on how we perceive truth and reality. The cave, the shadows, and the light are symbols that resonate across cultures, inviting us to question what we think we know and consider the possibility of deeper truths. Similarly, the yin-yang symbol from Taoism offers a visual representation of balance and duality. At first glance, it's a simple circle divided into black and white halves, but within each half lies a small dot of the opposite color. This design encapsulates the idea that opposites are interconnected and interdependent. Light cannot exist without darkness, nor order without chaos. The yin-yang symbol isn't just a philosophical concept, it's a guide for living, reminding us to seek harmony in a world of contrast. What's fascinating is how this symbol, rooted in ancient Chinese thought, echoes ideas found in other traditions, from the Greek concept of the golden mean to the Hindu notion of Shiva and Shakti. Could these recurring patterns suggest that philosophical symbols are part of a universal language, one that transcends cultural and linguistic boundaries? The power of philosophical symbols lies in their ability to convey complex ideas in a way that words alone cannot. They distill abstract concepts into tangible forms, making them accessible to both scholars and everyday thinkers. Take, for example, the Ouroboros, an ancient symbol of a serpent eating its own tail. Found in Egyptian, Greek, and Norse traditions, the Ouroboros represents the cyclical nature of existence, creation and destruction, beginnings and endings. It's a symbol that speaks to the interconnectedness of all things, a concept that resonates with modern scientific ideas like the conservation of energy and the cycle of life. By encoding these ideas in symbols, philosophers and thinkers have created a visual language that can be understood on an intuitive level, bypassing the limitations of spoken or written words. But here's the intriguing question: if philosophical symbols can convey such profound truths, could they also be part of a larger universal language? Some scholars argue that these symbols tap into fundamental aspects of human experience: duality, transformation, the search for meaning, that are shared across cultures and time periods. If that's the case, then decoding these symbols might not just reveal the wisdom of the past, it could also offer insights into the nature of reality itself. Could the key to understanding existence lie in the symbols we've created to explain it? As we ponder this possibility, it's worth considering how symbols have also shaped the way we approach scientific discovery. From the mathematical equations that describe the cosmos to the diagrams that map the human genome, symbols have been essential tools for exploring and understanding the natural world. In the next chapter of our journey, we'll explore how the language of symbols has influenced scientific thought, unlocking the secrets of the universe and revealing patterns that connect the microcosm to the macrocosm. What might we learn by examining the intersection of philosophy, science, and symbolism? The answers await us, hidden in the codes of the cosmos. Science and symbols have always been intertwined, serving as two sides of the same coin in humanity's quest to understand the universe. While symbols in art and philosophy often evoke emotion or abstract ideas, scientific symbols are precise, designed to convey complex concepts with clarity and efficiency. Take the periodic table, for instance. At first glance, it's a grid of letters and numbers, but each element's symbol, H for hydrogen, O for oxygen, O for gold, encapsulates not just the name of the element, but also its atomic structure and properties. These symbols are more than shorthand. They're a language that allows scientists across the globe to communicate discoveries, theories, and experiments without the barriers of spoken language. In this way, the periodic table isn't just a tool for chemistry, it's a testament to the power of symbols to unify knowledge and foster collaboration. But the use of symbols in science goes far beyond the periodic table. In physics, equations like E equals mc2 or F equals ma are more than mathematical formulas. They're symbols that distill profound truths about the nature of energy, matter, and motion into a few elegant characters. Einstein's famous equation, for example, doesn't just describe the relationship between energy and mass. It opens a window into the fundamental workings of the universe. These symbols, though abstract, are deeply rooted in observation and experimentation, making them both practical tools and profound statements about reality. What's fascinating is how these scientific symbols often transcend their original context. The equal sign, for instance, isn't just a mathematical operator. It's a symbol of balance, equivalence, and the interconnectedness of ideas resonating across disciplines and cultures. This raises an intriguing question. Could scientific symbols be part of a universal language of knowledge? Some researchers argue that the precision and universality of these symbols make them ideal candidates for communicating across not just cultures but also time. Imagine a future civilization discovering a physics textbook. Would the symbols still make sense? The periodic table, for example, is based on the atomic structure of elements, a fundamental truth that is unlikely to change. Similarly, mathematical symbols like pi pi or infinity infinity represent concepts that are timeless and universal. In this sense, scientific symbols might be more than just tools for discovery. They could be a way to preserve and transmit knowledge across generations, even across species. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Could decoding these symbols lead to new scientific breakthroughs? Throughout history, breakthroughs have often come from reinterpreting existing knowledge. For example, the discovery of the double helix structure of DNA was made possible by interpreting X-ray diffraction patterns, a form of symbolic representation. Similarly, the development of quantum mechanics relied on new ways of interpreting mathematical symbols to describe the behavior of particles at the smallest scales. Could there be other symbols, perhaps hidden in ancient texts or overlooked in modern science, that hold the key to unlocking new discoveries? The idea isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. After all, the Rosetta Stone unlocked the secrets of hieroglyphs, revealing a wealth of knowledge about ancient Egypt. Could a similar key exist for scientific symbols? This brings us to the tantalizing possibility that some symbols might have been used to encode technological knowledge. Ancient civilizations, from the Egyptians to the Mayans, were masters of engineering and astronomy, creating structures and systems that still baffle us today. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, aligns with incredible precision to the cardinal directions and incorporates mathematical ratios that suggest a deep understanding of geometry. Could the symbols and inscriptions found in these structures be more than just decorative? Might they encode knowledge about advanced technologies or scientific principles that we're only beginning to understand? If so, then decoding these symbols could not only shed light on the achievements of ancient civilizations, but also inspire new innovations in our own time. As we reflect on the role of symbols in scientific discovery, it's clear that they are more than just tools for communication. They are gateways to understanding, bridges between the known and the unknown. Whether through the elegant simplicity of a chemical symbol or the profound complexity of a physics equation, symbols have the power to unlock the secrets of the universe and connect us to a deeper, shared understanding of reality. And as we turn our attention to the next chapter of this journey, we'll explore how symbols have shaped and continue to shape our technological advancements, offering insights into the ways we innovate, create, and envision the future. What other secrets might these symbols hold? The possibilities are as vast as the cosmos itself. From the towering pyramids of ancient Egypt to the sleek lines of modern skyscrapers, symbols have always played a vital role in the language of innovation. Whether carved into stone or coded into software, these symbols are more than just markers of progress. They are the building blocks of technological advancement, encoding ideas and principles that drive human creativity forward. But could these symbols, from ancient engineering diagrams to modern programming languages, be part of a universal language that transcends time and culture? Let's explore how symbols have shaped the world of technology and what they might reveal about our shared capacity for innovation. Consider the ancient engineering marvels of civilizations like the Egyptians, Romans, and Mayans. These societies achieved feats of construction that still astonish us today, from aqueducts that carried water across vast distances to temples aligned with celestial events. But how did they plan and execute these projects with such precision? The answer lies in their use of symbols. Ancient engineers didn't have blueprints as we know them today, but they did have diagrams, symbolic representations of their designs that conveyed complex ideas in a visual format. For example, the Egyptians used hieroglyphs and geometric symbols to map out the dimensions and alignments of their pyramids, encoding mathematical principles that ensured their structures would stand the test of time. These symbols weren't just practical tools, they were a way to preserve and transmit knowledge, ensuring that future generations could build upon their achievements. Fast forward to the modern era, and we see symbols playing an equally crucial role in the world of technology. Take computer programming languages, for instance. At their core, these languages are built on symbols, letters, numbers, and punctuation marks arranged in specific patterns to create instructions for machines. A simple line of code like "print hello world" might seem like a random assortment of characters, but to a programmer, it's a powerful command that tells a computer to display a message. These symbols, when combined, form the backbone of everything from websites to artificial intelligence, enabling us to communicate with machines in a language they can understand. But here's the fascinating part. Much like ancient engineering symbols, modern programming languages are designed to be universal. Whether you're writing code in Python, Java, or C++, the underlying logic and structure remain the same, allowing programmers across the globe to collaborate and innovate. What connects these two worlds, ancient engineering and modern programming, is the idea that symbols can encode universal principles. Just as the Egyptians used geometric symbols to represent mathematical truths, programmers use logical symbols to represent computational processes. This suggests that there might be a shared language of innovation, one that transcends the specific tools and technologies of any given era. Could it be that the symbols we use to design buildings, write software, or even map the stars are part of a larger, universal code, a way to communicate the fundamental principles of technology across time and space? This idea raises an intriguing possibility. If symbols can encode universal principles, could they also help us unlock future innovations? Imagine a world where ancient engineering diagrams inspire new breakthroughs in sustainable architecture, or where the logic of modern programming languages leads to the creation of technologies we can't yet imagine. The symbols we create today might one day serve as the foundation for discoveries that reshape our understanding of the universe. And as we look to the future, we can't help but wonder, what other secrets might these symbols hold? What possibilities lie hidden in the codes and diagrams of the past, waiting to be rediscovered and reimagined? As we turn our gaze toward the horizon of technological innovation, it's clear that symbols will continue to play a central role in shaping our world. From the algorithms that power artificial intelligence to the designs that define our cities, symbols are the language of progress, a way to encode ideas and share knowledge across generations. But could they also be the key to unlocking a universal language of innovation, one that connects the builders of the past with the creators of the future? The journey continues as we explore the endless possibilities that lie at the intersection of symbols, technology, and human ingenuity. As we stand at the crossroads of the past and the future, the enigmatic symbols and forgotten codes we've explored take on a new significance. They are not just relics of ancient wisdom or curiosities of history. They are potential keys to unlocking a future where humanity communicates in ways that transcend language, culture, and even time. Imagine a world where the mysteries of the Voynich Manuscript or the Undeciphered Scripts of the Indus Valley are finally cracked, revealing insights that revolutionize our understanding of science, technology, and human connection. What if these symbols, once thought to be lost to time, hold the blueprint for a universal language, one that could bridge the divides that have separated us for centuries? The potential for these forgotten codes to shape the future is immense. In science, decoding ancient symbols could lead to breakthroughs in fields as diverse as astronomy, medicine, and artificial intelligence. For instance, the mathematical precision of ancient symbols like the Mayan star charts or the geometric patterns of the flower of life might inspire new algorithms or models that enhance our understanding of the cosmos. Similarly, the spiritual and philosophical insights encoded in symbols like the mandala or the Ouroboros could offer fresh perspectives on human consciousness, guiding the development of technologies that integrate mind, body, and spirit in ways we've yet to imagine. Technology, too, could be transformed by the rediscovery of these ancient codes. Modern encryption methods, for example, are rooted in the same principles of pattern and substitution that ancient civilizations used to protect their secrets. By studying how symbols were encoded and decoded in the past, we might develop new cryptographic techniques that are even more secure and efficient. And as artificial intelligence continues to evolve, the ability to analyze and interpret ancient symbols could lead to the creation of systems capable of unraveling the most complex codes, unlocking knowledge that has been hidden for millennia. But beyond the practical applications lies a deeper possibility. The idea that a universal language rooted in these symbols could bring humanity closer together. In a world increasingly divided by language barriers, cultural differences, and conflicting ideologies, the ability to communicate through a shared symbolic language could be transformative. Symbols like the circle, the spiral, or the sun, recurring motifs across cultures, already hint at a common understanding of fundamental concepts. If we could decode and harness this shared language, we might find new ways to collaborate, innovate, and coexist on a global scale. This raises a profound question. Could the key to a universal language be hidden in these forgotten codes? Some researchers believe that the patterns and principles embedded in ancient symbols reflect a deeper, universal truth, one that transcends individual cultures and speaks to the core of human experience. If so, then decoding these symbols isn't just an academic exercise. It's a journey toward understanding what it means to be human, both as individuals and as a collective species. As we reflect on this journey of discovery, it's clear that the search for a universal language is about more than just deciphering symbols. It's about uncovering the threads that connect us, the shared stories, beliefs, and aspirations that have shaped humanity's quest for meaning. From the cave paintings of Lascaux to the algorithms of artificial intelligence, symbols have been our constant companions, guiding us through the complexities of existence and pointing us toward a future where understanding knows no bounds. So, as we close this chapter, let's carry forward the spirit of curiosity and connection that has driven us to explore these ancient mysteries. Whether the key to a universal language lies in forgotten codes or in the innovations of tomorrow, one thing is certain: the journey is far from over. And as we continue to decode the symbols of the past, we might just find the keys to building a brighter, more unified future. As we reach the end of this journey through the world of forgotten codes and enigmatic symbols, it's worth taking a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered. From the cryptic carvings of ancient caves to the intricate diagrams of alchemists, from the undeciphered scripts of lost civilizations to the mathematical precision of modern science, symbols have been a constant thread weaving through the tapestry of human history. They are more than just marks on a page or patterns in the sand. They are windows into the minds of those who came before us, offering glimpses of how they understood the world and their place within it. Each symbol, whether etched in stone or encoded in algorithms, tells a story of discovery, imagination, and the unrelenting human drive to make sense of the unknown. At the heart of this exploration lies a tantalizing question: could these symbols be part of a universal language? Could the recurring patterns found in everything from ancient petroglyphs to modern encryption hold the key to a shared way of understanding that transcends time, culture, and even species? While we may not yet have definitive answers, the pursuit of these questions has revealed something equally profound: the enduring power of symbols to connect us. They remind us that, despite our differences, we are united by a common quest for knowledge and meaning. Whether through the celestial maps of the Maya, the sacred geometry of the flower of life, or the algorithms that power our digital world, symbols serve as bridges between the past and the present, the tangible and the abstract, the individual and the collective. But the mystery of these forgotten codes is far from solved. The Voynich Manuscript remains undeciphered, the Indus Valley script continues to baffle scholars, and the true purpose of artifacts like the Antikythera mechanism still sparks debate. These unsolved puzzles are not just historical curiosities, they are invitations to explore, to question, and to imagine. What other secrets might these symbols hold? What knowledge long thought lost could they unlock? The answers may lie just beyond our current understanding, waiting for the right key to reveal them. As you go forward from this video, I encourage you to keep your eyes open to the symbols that surround you, in art, in nature, in the patterns of everyday life. What hidden meanings might they hold? What stories could they tell? Share your thoughts and discoveries in the comments below. This is a conversation that thrives on curiosity and collaboration. Together, we can continue to unravel the mysteries of these ancient codes and explore the possibility of a universal language that connects us all. To close, let's reflect on the words of Carl Jung, who once said, "Symbols are the language of the soul." Whether carved into stone, painted on canvas, or encoded in the stars, symbols have the power to transcend barriers and speak to the deepest parts of who we are. They remind us that, even in a world of endless complexity, there is a shared thread that binds humanity together, a thread woven from the stories we tell, the knowledge we seek, and the wonder we carry in our hearts. So, as you step back into your day, take a moment to look for the symbols around you. Who knows what hidden truths they might reveal? The journey is far from over, and the next chapter is yours to write.